Hey, Kevin here, just going to talk about hooking up the house. Right now the house is completely disconnected from all the infrastructure services that would come in, water, power, and sewer. So we want to hook all these up, so we went ahead and got all the materials. I'm just going to kind of give you an overview here, and we'll do a little walk around so you can see the three different projects that we need to go to connect the house to the infrastructure so that we can use it. So first thing I'm going to talk about is the sewer. And so what I have right here is the 3-inch ABS line that's exiting the building, that all the fixtures, so the shower, the toilet, the sinks, all that are hooked up to this pipe, so that anything going down those sinks and drains is going to wind up coming through this pipe out here. Now this is all going to be underground when we get done. We're going to have about this much dirt up here right up against the edge of the building. So what I have to do is I've got a 3-inch black ABS pipe right here, and I'm going to cut this off, and I got to convert it over to a 4-inch sewer pipe, and that's what this fitting is for. This is a 3-inch to 4-inch sewer. So we're gonna glue that on, and then the next thing I got to do is I got to angle the pipe to go over to pick up my sewer drain. And so what we're going to have to do is put a little bit of the sewer pipe on the end of this fitting, so that we got a little bit of a stub out, and then we can connect this 45-degree piece on right here, which is going to turn my sewer pipe and angle it toward the other end down here, where we're going to connect it up on the other side of the yard. And right here, what this is the current end of the sewer pipe, where we've got the RV hooked up right now to go into the septic system. And so I went ahead and dug that out, and what we're going to do is cut that open, and we're going to connect this Y into that system. So that's going to sit right in here, and then I'm going to bring this line right into this side of it, so that we've got, and you see how the angle of the pipe goes this way. We don't want water going this way, and we don't want water coming out of here going this way. So they're already set up so that both of these pipes, as the water hits them, just pushes them right on down into the sewer pipe and out to the septic tank, okay? So that's called a Y, a 4-inch Y. So that's going to get cut in and glued right there. And then we're going to hook this pipe up here. We got about 16 feet here, and these are two 10-foot sticks of 4-inch sewer pipe. So we'll cut those to fit, connect them together, get everything hooked up, and then we'll have the ability to use our plumbing fixtures inside, and water will drain out and head to the septic system. And there has to be a little bit of a grade here, a down angle. Stuff goes downhill. Just remember that when you're plumbing. That's all you need to know. We want about a 1/4 inch to the foot drop. So we have 16 feet of pipe, and so we need a 1/4 inch for each one of those, which is roughly 5 inches. Okay, and I'll get exact when I get here, but I want to make sure that this pipe lays down and hits that sewer. That little sewer pipe's lower than that pipe is over there, at the right amount. We already predetermined this, so that we get the right amount of down angle for everything to flow and go on and find its way around to the sewer system, which is around the corner of the end of the RV down there, okay? So let's go talk about the next thing. We'll walk around here and look at the electrical. So in previous videos, we talked about hooking our electrical system up over here. And so that's a 200 amp pedestal right there. Typical pedestal, 200 amp power that's coming in for a house. But I'm only going to use 90 amps of it to go into the house. That's all we need. It's a little house, so I've got some leftover power to go elsewhere. Right now I've got it hooked up so that the RV and one of our outbuildings each have 50 amps of power going to them to service the needs of those two buildings. And the outbuilding's got our washer and dryer and lighting and some freezer in there and so forth, and so that's what that power is going to. We're going to disconnect that one, and we're going to replace that with the breaker that has the power bringing it into the house here. And you can see we've already got the power conduit coming up the wall, the panels on the inside right here, and the power line is already in the ditch down here. You got to be 2 feet deep below finished grade. And this is an inspection point. Once we get all this done, then we have an inspector come out. He makes sure that we're 2 feet below grade and that we have the right line going through and all the conduits properly fitted and attached to the wall so that it's safe. And then we'll be doing a similar connection at the other end over here, where we're going to connect up to the 90 amp breaker that's feeding this panel in here. And then we'll have power in the building, and then what we'll probably do is make up a couple of our outlets and then feed a extension cord back to the outbuilding for right now, so that it's got power so we can keep the freezer on and so forth. So that's our electrical, just our main power source coming in. And then we got one more thing to do, and that's to hook up our water. So our water's on this side of the building. We're on the west side here, and we have a 3/4 inch line stubbed out from underneath the cement right here on the footing, and it's just waiting. We can currently hook that up to a garden hose if we want to hook temporary water up, but long term we need to, in our area where we live, we need to have it 18 inches below the surface of the finished grade. And we're going to run this poly pipe, 3/4 poly pipe. We're going to connect it onto there with this barbed fitting, and then we're going to dig a little ditch here and run it out to the little well box that you can see over there in the trees. That's where our well pump is, and so we're going to connect it up down there so we have water and power and sewer coming into our building. So our umbilical cords will be connected and we'll be ready to go. Although we're fairly independent here because our sewer system belongs to us. It's a septic, so we're not hooked up to a city sewer and paying a bill. We're not hooked up to city water. We have our own well, so we just have our power bill that we would pay, to pump the water into the building, which is nothing. And then our only paying utility is our electric. And right now we're running about $30 a month, which is pretty doggone small. That's about 1/10 of what our utility was where we lived in our old house, which is we were on comfort level billing at $300 a month year round to supply 3,000 square feet of house with all the needs that we had there. So quite a difference in cost of living, if you ask me, and it's nice to have that drop in utilities, let me tell you. So that's kind of where we're at. We're going to be connecting the 3 things up here in the next little bit, and then we'll have, the building will be usable on the inside as far as that goes. We'll be able to hook up some electrical, we'll be able to hook up some plumbing, and be able to have fresh water and sewer exiting the building, and we're getting closer to making it livable. And we'll be moving into the house before it's finished, just because it makes sense for us to do so, and we'll just be kind of camping in, if you will. But we'll have hot water, hot and cold running water. We'll have our stove and refrigerator in there. We probably won't have the cabinets all put together in the kitchen yet, and so, but we'll be able to function in there and continue working on the building until we get it finished. But we'll be able to live in it at the same time, and that's a good option for some people, to be able to move into their house before it's finished and have use of the space prior to getting everything finished in. We've done that several times on past builds over the years, and so it's just a little hack, if you will, for getting into your accommodations and maybe cutting your cost of living. If you're renting somewhere else, or you're sitting in an RV park, or whatever it is you're doing, you can cut that cost off. If living in an RV park might cost you $400 or $500 a month, may cost you that much or more if you're renting a house or an apartment while you're building. In our case, we were on site, but we did have to purchase an RV, which can cost anywhere from $500 to $50,000 depending on your budget and what you want to spend. So that's kind of where it's at right now. We got another load of plywood in the building that we're going to be putting some varathane on. So we're going to wind up doing the same on the walls as the ceiling that you saw in earlier videos. So we finally picked a color, if you will. And we got a little bit of some interesting hacks and cheats and tips and things coming up on some, the next few videos as we go here. We're going to save some more money by kind of finding our way through this project. We're staying on budget, I think, pretty much. We're right around that $30K mark for the house build itself, not counting the infrastructure or the lot. So, because we want to focus on just talking about building the house, because that's fairly stable price-wise for you if you're, wherever you're at in the country. Of course, the land values are going to vary depending on where you're at. You could spend less than we did, or you could spend more than we did. And then, of course, your cost of getting your water, power, and sewer into your property and into your house just depends on how you go with that. So we just want to focus on cost of building the house itself, which is around $30K for us in this particular scenario. So that's what we're on track to do. So really inexpensive. You can be mortgage free. If you want to follow along and find out how we're doing it, we have our Builders Developers course you can check out on selfreliantlife.com. And with that, I'll see you on the next video. Hey, I just wanted to show you something really cool. I got power in the house. Plugged it in right over here in my trusty old kitchen plug that I just put in. So just wanted to give you a little quick update on that as a PS, and I'll see you on the next video.